Hari Om. So I'll start with a little prayer, quick prayer to Ganesh to open the session. Om Namo Vratapataye Namo Ganapataye Namah Pramadapataye Namaste Stulambodharaya Ekadantaya Vigna Vinashine Shivasutaya Shri Varadamurtaye Namo Namaha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Aim Hrim Shrim Saraswatyai Namo Namaha. So what I've done is I've invoked Ganesha, one of whose names is Ganapati. Ganapati means the Lord of all known categories. And as a result, he is invoked before learning, because when we're learning a category of knowledge. So mathematics, literature, music, whatever it is, there's an accumulated body of knowledge over which Ganesha is the gatekeeper. Now, Saraswati, the female divine, is also specifically related to speech, culture, language, and Sanskrit, and she's called Vagdevi, the goddess of speech. So in a sense, we're invoking the masculine and feminine parts of our brain that are involved, the right and left lobes of the brain that are involved in processing language, processing and articulating language. And by studying Sanskrit, which is called Deva Vani, Deva means divine. That's where our word divine comes from. Vani means speech. And by studying this divine, so-called divine speech, divine language, we, in effect, can balance both lobes of our brain. And so I make the point that if you take an IQ test before you start to study Sanskrit, and then you take one, 6 months or 12 months into it, that I maintain that you will get higher scores on your test, because there is something about studying any language, by the way, that refreshes your brain. And Sanskrit in particular is explicitly built on this premise that by studying it, you will develop equal balanced thinking, you will develop cognitive ability. So, there are these apps nowadays called Brain Gym and all these kinds of different things out there that help to keep your mind healthy. Well, in my opinion, there's nothing as challenging and as potentially rewarding as studying the Sanskrit language, which is the language of mantra, and it's the language of the Vedic tradition, including Ayurveda, Jyotisha, Tantra, Vastu Shastra, and more, and Vedanta and yoga and all these things. So Sanskrit is the substratum of all of the disciplines in the Vedic tradition, and certainly of the Ayurveda tradition, which we all are studying now. And just like when a med student goes to medical school and to study medicine, they learn a lot of Greek and Latin terms in the same way we who are studying Ayurveda or studying Vedanta or other Vedic disciplines, but specifically the medical tradition, we're going to have to learn some Ayurveda, because the textbooks are written in Sanskrit, and the specific terminology, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Ranjaka, Pitta, Pachaka, Pitta, right? All these terms are in Sanskrit, and they invoke a certain meaning. So just as Greek and Latin in certain ways. So when someone says the hemopoietic system, referring to the blood, but hemo and poetic, poeta means to make in Greek. That's where the word poet comes from. A poet is a creator, a maker. And hemo refers to hemoglobin, the blood. So the blood making system. So just as Greek and Latin, the words tend to have more meaning than we associate with them in plain English. In the same way, and maybe even in a more richly developed way, in Sanskrit, the words have a deep meaning. So the word pitta, for example, is related to pita, which means yellow. So if someone looks very yellowish, well, they could be jaundiced, and jaundice is a pitta disorder. Um, uh, um, so, and even down to the actual phoneme. So a phoneme is just a little sound. It's a little unit of sound. So the word ka, pa has two phonemes, ka and pa. And pa, that sound, pa, say that sound, pa, 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 say it. Where do you feel that sound? In your
chest.
In your chest, in your lungs. So the sound pa refers to the lungs. And if someone is having difficulty saying this sound, you can immediately diagnose there may be something going on with the lungs. And these are called aspirated sounds. Now I'm sort of diving in. I'm going to pull back here in a second and give you a full introduction, but I just want to give you a taste of where we're going. So the word ka-pa, or ka-fa as we call it, the sound in the word itself refers to where kapha is lodged, which is in the chest, which is why when you do therapies for kapha, you want to really heat up the chest, which is why we do vomiting. The chest and the stomach are the seats of kapha, or kapha, as it's correctly pronounced. So once I had a student, when I think second or third day of class, when we were learning the alphabet, and she was having a lot of trouble with the aspirate sounds. And I said, and the way she was saying it sounded to me like she was overdoing it. And I said, have you been doing a lot of aerobic exercise lately? And she kind of smiled and said, man, I've been biking to school every day, and it's uphill, and I hate it. And that's what I got when I heard her say the aspirate sounds, which are k, p, j, and so on. There's quite a few of them, and they're in the handout that y'all are getting for this class. So by listening carefully, even to these specific sounds, you can begin to get an idea of what this person's issue might be. If someone, and I talk about this at length in the whole Sanskrit Without Stress program, which is a full program for learning Sanskrit. For example, if someone is overstating the sound j, well, I just want to do this, and Jenny wouldn't help me with it, and geesh, right? If they're overemphasizing that, j has a meaning. J is related to birth and procreation, and it's where our word to generate comes from. Generation, genitive, these are the English words related to the sound j. And so maybe that person is, maybe a question you can ask them, if you know them well, you can say, are you having problems in your sex life? Or how's your sex life? Right? And they might be like, why do you ask? So, you can use this as a fun way to kind of get verification about what we're learning and what we're teaching, and as a way to really gain an appreciation that every sound, not every sound, but practically every sound has a deeper meaning. And so we're going to get into what those deeper meanings are, but before we do that, the important thing is to be able to pronounce the sounds. And so so the first thing I'd like to do is take you through the handout. So if y'all will look at your handout, and I'm going to pull my screen here. Let me share my screen. All right. So this is, gosh, I don't even know how to flip this over now. How to make it go. Anyway, this is The Sanskrit alphabet, and it's obviously in portrait mode. It should be in landscape mode, but I think you guys maybe can flip it in your handouts. And this is this particular alphabet was created by a student whose name is Danny Skins, and so we're grateful to him for having created that. And then now you can see the same alphabet here, color-coded according to many different categories. We can look at this from the point of view of which planet rules. And I don't, yeah, so here's the planet. I don't know if you can see my pointer here around Mars, the red. So this whole red row, it's really a row, it looks like a column here, is ruled by Mars. So these sounds, k, k, g, g, m, are Martian sounds. Can you all see that? Yeah? Okay. Yes, and Mars rules the nose, by the way, as well. Since we're talking about Mars. On the face. So languages that emphasize these sounds, like k and g and h, tend to generate a Martian attitude in the people who speak them. So can you think of some languages that, or some names even? How about Genghis Khan, right? Hitler. H is one of these sounds as well. Arabic has a lot of sounds like this, k, g. Contrast this with the sounds related to, so the next row, the light blue letters, the pastel blue letters, are related to Venus. Do you see this? Venus, where my marker is. These sounds, e, I, cha, ja, nya. These are very feminine sounds, and languages that emphasize sounds like this, like, can you think of some languages that have a lot of these sounds? Ci vediamo, Giovanni.
I was going to say Spanish, but Italian.
Italian especially has the chi, the ch sound very strong, and the j sound. Okay? And of course, they are lovers, they are artists, and you know, that ethic is in the culture, an appreciation for beauty, an appreciation for the finer things in life, almost to the exclusion of other things, right? Whereas languages that emphasize the h and the k appreciate valor and heroism and strength, maybe above other things, right? If you rode with Genghis Khan, you had to be self-sufficient. There was no room for, maybe there was room for artists, but not in the same way that as a society, the Italian culture has sort of created room for art in their culture. And so, and you can go down the line. So in the green column here, we have, and I'm just using one category, and I'm picking this randomly, by the way. I didn't plan on doing this, but the green here is Mercury. And Mercury rules intellect, speech, and sort of quickness, wit. And so the sounds related to Mercury are r, and then the sounds, those very typical Indian sounds, ta, ta, da, dha, na, ra. Thank you very much. That's okay, sir. Right? Da, 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 ra, ra. The sounds that you make by putting your tongue, by pointing your tongue directly at the third eye. And we're going to get into this here in a second. And of course, India is very typical for having these sounds. And, you know, not to get into stereotypes now, and I guess that's what I'm doing, but it's not stereotypes, these are more archetypes. Because the Mercury archetype is someone who is intellectually quick, who speaks many languages. And by the way, India as a country has just officially over 30 official languages. Official. Unofficially, it has hundreds of languages. And if you ever go to India, you will find that many, if not most, Indians speak at least a second language. But it's very common for them to speak 5 or 6 languages, and it's not a big deal, including English. So Mercury rules speech, it rules writing, it rules a quick mental acuity, it rules computers. Well, gosh, who's good at computers? Now I am stereotyping, but again, Mercury. So when you speak and you make these sounds, you will become, this is the other part of it, that you may become better at articulating different languages and working with computers. I'm already making bold claims here, right? Your IQ will go up, you'll get better with computers, you'll speak many languages, just learn Sanskrit. Then the next row column, the yellow one, is related to the planet Jupiter. And in Jupiter, we have these two almost impossible sounds, lr and lri. We're going to ignore them for a second. Lr sounds like something you hear in a cartoon. Lr. But the major sounds are th, t, d, th, n, l, and s. These are very common sounds, and the English language actually uses them a lot. So Jupiter rules a lot of things. It rules expansiveness, it rules wealth, it rules spirituality, it rules a lot of things. But banking is one of Jupiter's sort of main significations, and these sound, and English is the language of international currency. Anyway, so not to belabor this point, and then the final one is Saturn, which is in blue, and you can see those sounds there: oo, oo, o, ow, and then p, p, b, b, m, and v, and v. And I'm not sure which language would be characteristic of these sounds. Any suggestions? I'm thinking Thai, because there are a lot of PH sounds. Bangkok, you know, like P and P sounds. Now, I don't know Thai, I'm not familiar with Thai, but from what I've heard and seen, this, and I'm just guessing here, but if anyone has a better educated guess, that would that might be better. So this is just one use of this alphabet. All right, so let's move on to the lesson for today, which is how do we pronounce this? Pronunciation. That's what it is. Okay. All right. I feel I've been talking a lot, so let me take a quick break and see if you guys have any questions. This is why I love it when we actually have real students here rather than students coming in to join later, because we can tackle your questions on the spot. Does anyone have any questions about anything we've covered so far, or anything we haven't covered so far? No questions. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to give away my big secret right off the bat here. The secret to well, how do you pronounce that? Pronouncing Sanskrit. Sorry, it's my version of humor. It's not very funny. The secret to pronouncing Sanskrit is knowing the difference between and ah. So the first rule of Sanskrit, and really, if you only remember one rule and you remember this, you'll be able to pronounce 90% of Sanskrit correctly. 85%. Something like that. And that is this, that you see this is pronounced Now I want everybody to unmute themselves, please, because this is Devavani, the divine speech, the divine language, which is spoken. And this is very much a spoken language, even though many scholars sort of in the West are of the consensus that Sanskrit is a dead language. I maintain that Sanskrit is not a dead language. It is a language in samadhi. Okay? It's a language waiting for a reason to be not resuscitated, brought back into the vulgar world of material life. It is very much comfortable where it is. Having said that, if one were to go to India today, and particularly in places like Varanasi or other major learning centers, you will find people speaking Sanskrit on the street, having conversations about, hey, my plane was late today, so I had to drive to the airport and wait. Yes, you can say those things in Sanskrit. There are words for airplane and to drive and airport and computer and refrigerator, because Sanskrit is an incredibly malleable language. And if you think about the words for telephone, television in English, they're Greek words. Tele means far, distant. Phone means sound, far sound. Well, that's exactly how you say telephone in Sanskrit. It's durbhasham. Dur means distant. Bhasha means sound, durbhasham. Television, far sight. Vision means sight, right? Tele means far. Telescope, to see far away. So television is duradarshanam in Sanskrit. So just as Greek and Latin have the ability to coin new terms, same thing in Sanskrit. Okay, so Sanskrit, very much a living language, especially in India, where you will even find little kids speaking it on the street, and not just speaking it the way we speak Latin, by quoting Horace and Virgil, but by actually having real conversations. And this is the difference between a dead language and one not dead, or at the very least in samadhi. All right, so therefore, it is ever more important to really understand how to pronounce it, especially if you're going to be having conversations or at least listening to conversations. So the first key is that this sound, what we call the letter A, is pronounced So everybody say
Uh,
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 is totally different from ah. Okay.
ah,
Ah.
ah.
And just ah.
Ah.
There it is. Ah is the universal sound of creation and creativity. When God made the universe, he said, ah. When you roll up to the Grand Canyon and take a look, you go, ah. When you're with your beloved and making love, you say, ah. It's the sound of expansive, open creativity and wonder. It's a beautiful sound. Has a different meaning. So I want you to say, is totally different from ah. Let's say it. Is totally different from
Ah.
Once again.
Is totally different from ah.
Very good. So now let's go down the page here and let's take a look at this sentence, or these two words rather. So this S with the line over it, with the accent aigu over it, if you're French, that accent aigu, what it does is it turns the letter S into the letter sh. So it's just like writing here. I'll open a new document. And and by the way, you can download the Sanskrit, the alphabet. I'll give you the website. It's vedicvidya.org. to download Sanskrit fonts. Okay, so you can go there. So this, here, let me make my font a little bigger. Can you all see that? Okay, this equals that. Okay, so when we write that, you're used to seeing it like that. And the reason it's written that way is because there's another S which is like this. For example, that. And that is also, but it's the sh, it's that sh sound. So the first one is, this is sh, like Shiva. The sh that I should go to the store. But this is sh, where your tongue curls up to meet your third eye. So there are two kinds of sh and sh, sh and sh, sh and sh. And that's why we don't just write it out like that, because it's important to know which sh, which sibilant it is. All right, so then back to our document. So how would we, so what is the difference between these two words? Or let's pronounce these two words. How do we pronounce the first one?
Shiva.
Shiva, right? So that is an And the beautiful thing about phonetic languages like Sanskrit, phonetic means when you see a letter, that's how it sounds no matter where it is in the word. Okay? So no matter where that is in the word, it will always sound like It will never change. So this is Shiva. Now how do we say the second one?
Shiva.
Shiva. Good. And give long vowels their due. Really draw them out. You will never be censored for doing that by a Sanskrit speaker. A real Sanskrit speaker, when they hear you say Shiva, will never be like, dude, your long vowels are too long. Never. Okay? What they may say is that your long vowels are too short. So give them the benefit of that full ah. So this is Shiva. And one function of long vowels in general is that they tend to be feminine, especially the long ah. So by contrast, tends to be masculine. Ah tends to be feminine. So which one? So if you say, oh, I love Shiva. Shiva is my deity. He's so awesome. Shiva is a real man. I mean, he's my guy. Shiva is the deity that I worship. Who are you talking about? The dude? Because Shiva is a pretty masculine dude, right? He hangs around in graveyards and, kills people all the time, in a good way. If you call him Shiva, you're actually calling him a girl. So Shiva is the name of the male deity that holds a trident and sits on a tiger skin. Shiva is his wife. So Shiva is a name for the feminine divine. And of course, the feminine divine has many names. Parvati, and next week we'll study Vedic mythology a little bit and we'll get into this. But Shiva is a name for Shiva's wife. Make sense? Let's do the next one. It'll begin to make more sense. How do we pronounce this word?
Mala.
Mala.
Very good. Mala, mala. So that sound is here and it's here. It's in both places. So it's mala. Okay. How do we pronounce the second one?
Mala.
Mala. Beautiful. So which one means garland? One of these means garland, and one of these means poop, waste, fecal matter. So when you go to your teacher and you say, oh, I would love to present you a garland, a token of my appreciation, are you saying I would like to present you my poop as a token of appreciation, or which happens, this happens a lot, believe it or not. And the teacher, if they're Indian, will smile and say, okay, that is okay, it is okay. So which one do you think is one of the waste products or a garland? It's okay, you can be wrong here. The point of practicing here is so you're not wrong outside of class. Take a guess.
I think mala is waste.
You think mullah is waste? And
First one. Yeah, I think that's garland.
that, how do you pronounce that?
Mala.
Okay. Everybody agree?
I
Cindy?
think it's the opposite.
Lenny, you think it's the opposite? You think mala is poop and mullah is garland?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else care to weigh in? We're going to settle this bet. $5. Who's going to put the money on the table here? All right. The verdict is that, see, Sanskrit guys, even though it's guys, you know, who are the grammarians, they're kind of smart. So they made waste the masculine word, not the feminine word. The feminine word they made for something beautiful and elegant. And the masculine word they made into poop. So mullah is waste. And every year at the Ayurvedic Institute, when Dr. Lad comes in January, students always come up to him and say, oh, Dr. Lad, I just made this mullah for you, and I would love to put it all over your neck, put it on your neck. Can I? Right? I just made this poop for you.
Yeah.
And can I put it on you? And of course, he smiles and says, okay, dear, that is okay. The word is mala. So when you do your mantras, you do them on a mala, not a mullah. Big difference. And then I just added this word here, mullah, which is double L. Say mullah.
Mala.
Which means wrestler. So let's say all three words. First one.
Mala.
Mala.
Louder.
Mala.
Mala.
Once again.
Mala.
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 Not mala. I'm still hearing mala. Mullah.
Mala.
So that
Mala.
A equals the sound I want to hear you say that. This. When you see
Oh.
okay? When you see this, say this. There it is. Now say it in the word mullah.
Mala.
Mala.
Now the
Mullah.
second word.
Mala.
Mala. Mala.
I heard mala.
Mala.
Both of them are long.
Mala.
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 Not mala. Mala.
Mala.
Mala.
There it is. This one?
Mala.
Good. Again, everybody?
Mala.
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 How about this one?
Which one?
Mala.
There's no ah there.
Mala.
Mala.
Mullah.
Mala.
Mala.
Mullah.
Mala.
This one?
Mala.
Not
Mala.
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 This one?
Mala.
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 This one?
Mala.
This one?
Shiva.
Shiva.
Oh,
Again?
Shiva.
It's not Shiva, but we'll get into the E in a second. It's a short E. It's Shiva.
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 Shiva. Good.
Shiva.
And then this one?
Mala.
Mala.
This one?
I don't get that one. No.
All right, don't worry about that. It's just a double L. So it's mullah. You just linger on the L for an extra second. But that one's not important. What about this one?
Bala.
Bala.
I'm hearing bala. It's
Bala.
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 Ah, is wherever it is in the word.
Bala.
Look, this is difficult, or maybe it's not difficult, but it's challenging because I'm going to take you through an exercise here. Let's do this, and let me bring down the font here a little bit. All right, you guys see this on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
How do we pronounce this?
Other.
Ather.
Father.
What if it's that?
Father.
Okay, what if it's that?
Ba.
Bather.
Bather.
How the heck did change to A?
Ah.
What if we do that?
Lather.
What the heck happened to the A? Now it's a. This is English, folks. There is no rule that talks about why just changing one letter changes the pronunciation. This is a random conglomeration of sounds. In Sanskrit, this sound is always regardless of what follows or what comes before it. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do the next word. How do we say this?
Ananda.
Very good. How do we say this?
Ananda.
Very good. Ananda. So which one means bliss and which one means lack of bliss?
Ananda. Bliss.
Yes.
Yeah, when in doubt and it's a good thing, go with the feminine,
Exactly.
right? So yes, Ananda. So people actually name themselves, right? Because Ananda is a name I know friends and people who have that name.
Yeah.
And they often call themselves Ananda. Well, the prefix in Sanskrit is just like the prefix un in English, which makes the whatever follows the opposite. So successful, unsuccessful, right? Intelligent, unintelligent. So the prefix in Sanskrit does the same thing. And the word nanda, nanda, this word here, means joy. So what do you think nanda means?
No joy.
Joyless.
Joyless.
Hello, my name is Ananda. Nice to meet you. I don't know why I feel crappy, but I just do. My name is Ananda. I am the joyless one, right? Whereas the prefix means, is like our suffix full. So ananda means joy. Has a sense of going out and then coming back in and doubling itself, going out and reduplicating itself over and over again. It means unto. So going unto joy and coming back, unto joy and coming back. So there's a sense of joy reduplicated on itself. So ananda is eternal joy, or we say bliss for this word, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So one vowel can make a big difference. How do we say this?
Ananda.
Ananda.
How do we say this?
Mala.
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 I heard mala again. No, this is going to take a lot of work to get this out of your brain, out of your system. Bad habit.
Mala.
Good. How do we say this?
Shiva.
Shiva.
Shiva. Very good. And this?
Ananda.
Ananda.
Ananda. This is why Sanskrit speakers often do this with their hand. They extend their hand. Ananda. And then they do this kind of thing. Ananda.
Ananda.
That's it. So when you say long sounds, you can do this. Ananda. I feel Ananda. Oh, big Nanda. Big Nanda. Expressive like that. Ananda. Okay. Next word. How do we say that?
Bala.
Bala.
Everyone?
Bala.
Bala.
Eleni?
Bala.
Not Bala.
Bala.
No,
Oh,
bala.
bala.
There it is. Bala. Good.
Bala.
And the second one, just Eleni, I want to hear you.
Bala.
Bala.
Good. Good. This is, you missed the beginning of this, but this is very much a spoken language, and you'll never get Sanskrit if you don't speak it. And one of the mistakes we make in the West is, as scholars, there are incredible brains in the West who thoroughly know Sanskrit and its grammar, but they can't speak a word of it. And this is a shame. And I don't want you guys to fall into that trap. And when you hear them speak it, it just sounds horrible. Well, what's the point of knowing only the grammar of a language? That's like understanding the autopsy of a person. You don't know, how they smiled or how they laughed or how they looked at someone when they were angry. You can't know that because that's life. And when you study just the grammar and the bones of a language, it's useful. Of course it's useful, but it's not all of it. So I want to encourage you guys just to play with these sounds, especially here, since no one else is listening, so that when you're out there, the people who are listening, the other Ayurvedic doctors, the other real yogis, they'll appreciate your mastery of these sounds. And in a sense, you'll boost your place by having this down. So, and it may not be your thing, and I understand that. It's not for everybody, but it is useful to stretch, and like I said at the beginning, to challenge both lobes of your brain with this. All right, so Bala, so what is the yoga pose? Which one means child and which one means strength? So one of these means child and one of these means strength. And in yoga we have the child pose. So is it Balasana, Balasana, or Balasana?
I think the third one's a child pose.
Well, say it. The third one. It's not the third one.
It's not the third one. It's the second one.
No. No, it may be the third one, but say what you're intending. The third one is?
Balasana. Balasana.
That's it. Balasana. Very good. And that is, in fact, the correct pose.
Okay.
Good job. So the word for child is bala. Say bala.
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 Bala. That's that last. Good. Bala. So it is bala asana, and when the two us come together, they become long, so it becomes balasana. The word bala means strength. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? All right, moving on. How do we say this?
Vamana. No. Vamana.
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 What?
What happened? How do we say this? You want to try it?
Vamana.
Very good. How about this one?
Vamana.
And how about this one?
Vama.
Again?
Vama.
Vama. Good. And how about this one?
Shiva. Shiva.
Shiva. This one?
Bala.
Beautiful. And this one?
Bala.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So one of these means the left direction, like left hand. The other one means dwarf or short. And the other one means to vomit, vomiting. So in Ayurveda, we have one of the 5 therapies in Panchakarma is vomiting therapy. Which one do we think? Is it Vamana or is it Vamana?
Vamana.
Vamana.
Yeah, good. It is vomiting. It is Vamana. Very good. Vamana means vomiting. Vamana means a short person. a little person. And then Vama means to the left. Okay? All right, we'll do one more here and then move on, because we got to move on here. This one is pretty interesting. How do we say this word?
Ama.
Which means what?
Mom.
It means morbid mucoid plaque.
That's terrible.
Ama is the opposite of Agni. And now we know how to say that word Agni. We know how to say Agni. Agni, right? Not Agni. It's Agni.
Ugly. Ugly.
And Agni is the opposite of Ama. Where there is Ama, there is no Agni. Where there is Agni, there is no Ama. Simple as that. Okay. Because Ama accumulates where there is unprocessed food, unprocessed material. It can accumulate in your joints. It can accumulate in your brain as plaque. It can accumulate in your arteries. That's Ama. So the goal of Ayurveda is to kindle Agni. That is the first aim of Ayurveda. Whether you're treating cancer or you're treating burping, doesn't matter. You want to kindle Agni, because Ama is the breeding ground for disease. Now, what is this word? How would we say this word?
Amma.
Amma. This is a colloquial term for mother. And are you all familiar with the saint Ammachi?
No.
Yes.
No.
The
Ammachi
hugging saint.
is a holy person from southern India who is called the hugging saint, correct? He's hugged millions of people and given them spiritual sort of blessings and awakenings. She is truly a force of nature. She goes for maybe 20, 30 hours without sleeping, peeing, taking a break, if you go to one of her events, and maintains this incredible sense of energy. It's divine energy. And her nickname is Amma. Unfortunately, people who go to see her often call her Amma. I'm going to go see Amma today. Oh, I'm going to go get a blessing from Amma today. I don't know how often people say that. But you will never, ever hear one of her priests or high-level devotees ever call her Amma. They always say Amma. Amma says, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go see Amma. Because Amma means the breeding ground of all disease. A useful distinction, no? Any questions? All right. All right, so we'll move on to...
I have a question. What's the difference between, I think, you told us the verse, the sama dosha.
Good.
Is there an opposite one that means disturbed dosha?
Yes, so this word, sama, means equal or balance. This word, sama, means sa. It's two words. It's sa, which means with. It's like the English prefix con, C-O-N. So you have a junction and then you have a conjunction. So it means with. So the word sama means with ama, and therefore vitiated. So sama dosha means your pitta, like let's say it's your pitta is with ama, and therefore it's vitiated. Samadosha means balanced. Oh boy, the difference one little can make, huh? This is it, folks. This is the big one. And that's why I said at the beginning, if you can get this down, the and you'll have 90% of the Sanskrit pronunciation in the bag. But you just have to practice it. It doesn't come naturally. So, samadosha, samadnishcha, samadhatu malakriya, prasannatmendriyamanaha, swastayitya vidiyate. Sama, not samadosha, samagnisha. Okay. All right. So,
Can I ask one more? I'm sorry.
of course.
Rasayana or Rasayana.
Yeah, good. All right, so here we go. The word rasa means juice or essence. Okay? So the first part of that is rasa. Then the word ayana means the path or the way. And therefore, rasayana means the way of juice. Or a little more poetically, the nectar path. The path of rejuvenation, rejuicing the body. You know, when you have a saddle and it's dry, or a piece of wood, it's brittle and it breaks easy. When you oleate it and you nurture it, it plumps up again. You give juice to it. And juice is the essence of youth. Whether you're in a cosmetologist and you see people's skin begin to wrinkle, that's a sign of age. You inject collagen and do moisturizing creams, that moisture cream is juice. That's rasa. So you're adding rasa literally means to make something young again, to make it juicy again. Look at a baby. Baby's nothing but juice, right? And then you look at a centenarian, someone who's 100 years old, the juice is gone.
Thank you.
That's a good blues song, isn't it? The juice is gone, baby. Right?
Yeah.
That's the blues.
That's the blue.
Okay, so the word, so then how do we say this word? Everybody pronounce it?
Rasayana.
Rasayana.
Very good. Now, you will never ever call it this, right? Hold on. How do you say that?
Rasayana.
Rasayana.
Oh. Say it again.
Rasayana.
Ow. Okay, stop. I'll do whatever you want. Just don't ever say that again, please. Okay. It is rasayana, not rasayana. It's a little bit like, how do we say this sound, this word?
Chakra.
This word, try again.
Chakra.
Good. Chakra.
Chakra.
It is only a chakra in California. So if you're from California, you can say my chakras are aligned. But if you're a reasonable person anywhere else in the world, it is simply a chakra.
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 Now look, once you know how to say it right, I like to say chakras sometimes. Understanding how ridiculous that sounds in my head, but it's kind of fun. And why does it sound ridiculous? Because I know how to say it right. Now, I don't say that to belittle someone who doesn't know how to say it right. It's just how we've learned it, and that's fine. There's very intelligent people out there who say my chakras are misaligned, and that's okay. But it's once you know how to say it right, there's no excuse. So, the word is chakra, and even this word. How do we say that?
Sanskritam.
Cindy?
Yep, Sanskritam.
Eleni?
Shakratam.
Sanskritam.
Shakratam.
Good. So Sanskritam is the language we're studying. We can also say Sanskrit. Okay? And I love saying Sanskrit because it gives a little Texas twang. But the word is Sanskritam. Okay?
Sanskritam.
Or Sanskrit. Okay? So we've done the us. Let's move on quickly because we actually don't have much time here. It is very easy. For the letter I, the short version is simply a short version, and the E is just the long version of the short version, the long version, short version. So
What?
Look, this letter I right here is simply the shorter version of E. So say I,
I.
E,
E.
I,
E.
E. E.
E. Note that this is not the short version of this. This is The long version of is still right? This is You get it?
Yes.
So this is not a short version of that. However, it is the short version of E. So the only difference is one is just held longer. So let's take an example. How do you say this?
Dinner.
Dinner.
Dinner, very good. Dinner. Dinner means day.
Means
How do we
what?
say day?
Oh.
How do you say
Great.
the second one?
Dina.
Dina. So what's the correct term for your daily routine?
Dinacharya.
Very good. Dinacharya. It actually ends with a long A. Dinacharya. Dinacharya. Dina means low, depressed, vile, horrible, cowardly. Well, I do my Dinacharya every day and I still don't feel good. I'm doing my Dinacharya all the time. Dinacharya literally means behaving in a vile way, in a vile manner. Cute, huh?
Yeah.
So we want to say Dina, not Dina. Just as up here we said, now how do we say this?
Shiva.
Very good. Shiva. How about this one? Eleni?
Shiva.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you. And Cindy?
What?
This one.
Shiva.
Shiva. Good. How about this one?
Pitta.
Pita.
No, say it, try again.
Pita.
Pitta.
Ita. Remember the long sounds. Ita.
Pita.
Pita.
Ita means yellow. How about this one?
Pitta.
Pitta.
Say that double T. Just hang there for a split second. Say it again.
Pitta.
Good. Pitta. Pitta. You're just hanging on that double T there for a second. It's not pitta, it's pitta.
Pitta.
Make sense?
Pitta.
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 Good.
Isn't there a similar word for father?
That's pitta.
Pita.
So that word for father is one of the exceptions to the long vowel being feminine. Remember, I told you most of the time, not all of the time, a long a will be feminine. Pita means father. Mata, pita. Very good. Good question. Okie dokie. Let's see. All right. Same thing with oo. Short oo is just the short version of the long oo. Here, there's not much to really know. Let's pronounce this. So oo is oo. So this would be guru. Say
Guru.
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 Guru. Now say this.
Guru.
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 This means one guru.
No, it's two
This
gurus.
makes it dual. Two gurus. So when people say, oh, my guru, so really you have two gurus? You have one. Oh, okay. So
Okay.
my guru, oh, who's your second guru? I'm an ass. You know, if nothing else, understanding a little bit of Sanskrit can really make you sound super pompous and give you a nice sense of self-esteem at the expense of others. So I congratulate you. No, that's not why we do it. But so guru, Sanskrit has the dual form. So guruhu, guru, guravaha. Guru is one, guru is two, guravaha means three or more gurus. Anyway, we're not there yet. All right, next one. Diphthongs. Everybody say this word. How do we say this word?
Diphthong.
Songs.
That's an English word, actually. It's not Sanskrit.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Diphthong simply means
Ifono. It's a Greek
not
word.
something you wear at the beach. It's something that is, it's a vowel that is long, but that has two sounds in it, like the word go. G-O in English has two sounds. It's a sound O and a sound oo. We say go. Go. Go to the store. You ever notice that? No, you haven't, because if you're only an English speaker, you will not have picked this up. Go is a combination of go. That's what we're saying. And in phonetic languages, they actually don't say this. So if you're playing football and you tell your Russian friend, hey, go long, or if he wants to tell you that, he will say, go long. I go long. Funny, huh? Why? Because he's not pronouncing the diphthong. He's pronouncing the letter O the way it's supposed to sound. It's O, not O. So say O.
Oh.
Let's say the English first. Say O.
Oh.
O.
Oh.
O.
Oh.
Okay. Now cut off the oo and just say O.
Oh.
Oh.
O, and say it long.
Oh.
Oh.
Good. O.
Oh.
O.
Oh,
Oh.
sound like a cow.
Right? O. Now say
Oh.
O again.
Oh,
You hear the difference?
yeah.
O is a diphthong. Anyway, we don't care about the terminology. Understand that in Sanskrit and in every other phonetic language like Spanish, There's no U in there. English is the only language that adds this. This is not there. This is the word. It's go. So in Spanish, when you say this, if you're a gringo, you say como estás. Right? You're saying como
Kobo.
a
Stash.
estás.
Oh.
That's what we say. Como estás? Me llamo Simone. Right? Speaking Sanskrit will help you speak other languages so that when you see this, you simply say the sounds that are there, not what English trains us to say. So you say, ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
There it is. ¿Cómo estás? And there's an accent here over the A, which I don't know how to put in, but that's why I'm emphasizing the A. ¿Cómo estás? Or ¿Cómo está usted? Instead of, let's all say the gringo.
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
Me llamo Eleni. Me llamo Kalyani. Me llamo, see, hear what I'm saying? Me llamo. The way you write that is me. That's how it's written in Spanish. Me llamo or llamo. Oh, finish. We finish it here. But in English, we add me llamo. So the goal here that I'm trying to teach you is that in phonetic languages like Sanskrit, Spanish, Russian, Slavic languages, Japanese, they don't have these diphthongs the way we do. They still have a little bit, but not like English. And so understand to begin to work with this. So in Sanskrit, diphthongs are always long, and we covered the letter O. And so O is O, it's not O. Okay? The letter E, like in this word, let's see, why won't this? Like in that word is also long. So Ganesh. Everybody say Ganesha.
Ganesha.
It's not Ganesha. Ganesha.
Ganesha.
Ganesha. Yeah, this is a little more subtle than the O, but when we say, like in the word está here, we say está or a está. That's what we say. Because we add an E to the end of the E, but it's just an E. So Ganesha. Say G. Ganesha.
Ganesha.
Yeah, so the word Ganesha, and we tend to say Ganesha. You hear the difference? Ganesha versus Ganesha. Very subtle. But a Sanskrit speaker can hear it. And they'll say, oh, they're speaking gringo Sanskrit. And you know what? It's okay, because I'm a gringo. So it's fine. But it's fine to understand our accents, because you know what? Indian speakers also have accents in Sanskrit. Whether you're from the south or from the north or from a different region, you will pronounce Sanskrit differently. So it's not fair to say that just because we're not from India, we don't say it correctly. Even people in India speak Sanskrit differently. I don't want you to get hung up on that, but recognize what the differences are. That's where the value is to me. So when I speak Sanskrit, I speak with a gringo accent. It's just, but it's not as bad maybe as a person who goes to Mexico and right? And it can be understood because their accent is so strong. Me llamo Tony. We who play, voulez-vous, right? It happens in all languages. So understanding, minimizing that gringo-ness is a good thing. Okay. So any questions about that? Let's practice some of these. Well, if you don't practice them, it'll never happen. So here's the thing. You can intellectually understand that is different from but I guarantee you 15 minutes after we hang up today, you're still going to be pronouncing this Shiva. You're still going to be pronouncing this Mala, not Mullah.
Mala.
Because it's just not in there yet. You have to drill this. And intellectually, someone will say, oh, that's actually Mullah, not Mala. And you go, oh, right, I had that class, right. Because it's still rattling around in here, it hasn't dropped. And at the beginning, I do that invocation so that invocation alerts a higher part of me that, hey, I'm about to study something that means something to me and that I really want to get. And will you please help me to bring it down into my body and body? So, but it does take practice, folks. And, you know, at the risk of, again, being a sales guy, I do have a beautiful program on this called Sanskrit Without Stress. And it's 12 lessons on video like we've done with full workbook and all kinds of bonuses where you learn how to look at the different words and even begin to diagnose like we were talking about. The P sound is the lungs. The J sound is the generative organs. And so on. To really begin to listen to people and find out, oh, this person may be doing too much meditation or too little meditation. This person may be doing too much cardio or too little cardio. This person may have a problem with their father. I diagnosed someone in class when we were studying. We were studying this. It wasn't just a random thing. I wouldn't call out someone randomly like that. But and I asked him if it was okay because he was mispronouncing all of the vowels. The vowels in general have to do with the father or the father figure in the life. The sibilants and the sibilants are sh, sh, and s, and the semivowels, yara, lava, are the mother, the moon. And so he was having trouble with all of the vowels. And I said, are you having problems with your father right now? And he kind of did one of these and said, well, yeah, I'm actually just moved back in with my dad and we're having a lot of sort of butting heads. So anyway, so my point is that even listening to how people pronounce can give you an insight into what's happening in their lives. And I go over this in the course and so on. So, all right, so let's just keep going and finish here. We've got about 10 minutes. I do want to answer questions if you have some. Do you have more questions?
With your class, do you teach the script?
Oh,
do you learn to read it, or do you just learn the Roman transliteration?
No. We learn this stuff, all these squigglies.
Squigglies.
And these are fun because you get to be a kid again. You get to get out that big book where you practice your letters when you were a little kid. And, you know, you get to practice writing the letter A or letter as we know it now, and the letter A. And there's a stroke, there's little arrows that show you exactly how to make the stroke. So you know exactly how to do it every time. Here, let me see if I can pull that up.
And since you know this, you can speak, read, and write like Hindi, maybe even Nepali.
Correct. So one of the things that we do in class as an exercise is I bring pictures of street signs in India. And it is hilarious because the street signs are English transliterated into Hindi. So you will see Jimmy's computer store written in Hindi, but it says Jimmy's computer store. Right?
Oh.
Or you will read ATM Bank of India, and it's written ATM. It's very cute. It's so yeah. So that is one of the exercises that we do, and I want to show you this is the manual. So you will get this, and I don't know if you can see the right. It shows you the arrows on how to write the word. So like the first stroke, the second stroke, and the third stroke. Like here's the first stroke here. The second stroke is here, and then the third stroke is on top. You know, and we go through that, and I write them on the board, and you write with me, right? I write each one. So yes, you have to know the script, and that we take a long time to learn the script and how to write words. Takes 6 lessons to go through that, and then we get to grammar and other stuff. But while you're writing the script, you're also learning how to sound the letters and what they mean. Okay, good question. Any other questions on what we've covered so far? All right, let me just go down here for number 4. There is a sound called the cerebral, or the retroflex sound. And that is the sound that happens when you curl your tongue to touch the roof, to point at your third eye. So that's the sound, the typically Indian sound. So instead of the t, we have ta. Ta. Thank you very much, Mr. Homer, you are a terrible person. You know Apu from The Simpsons?
Apu.
I encourage all of my students, and you guys especially, for 1 week to practice speaking like Apu. Now, Apu is a caricature because it's a white guy doing an Indian accent. So it's a caricature. The actor is Hank Azaria. He's not an Indian guy. He's pretending to be. So it sounds ridiculous. But the point is, when I was learning French, my French teacher encouraged me to sound like Pepe Le Pew. He said, just do it. Do you guys remember that cartoon of the skunk?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful darling, how are you? You are so beautiful. I love you, and you are the best. And right, to play French,
Right.
exaggerate it. Because when you actually go to speak French, those are the sounds you're going to be making. Allô, bonjour, ça va? Comment allez-vous? Oh, c'est très bien, vous êtes américain, super. You're making those sounds. And the way I learned to make those sounds is by practicing that stupid accent. Hello, nice to meet you. How are you doing? We are very happy to meet you. Right? So in Sanskrit, do the same thing. Hello, Mr. Homer. Oh, you are looking so fat today. Please, sir, you're going to eat the whole store. Please, sir. Please leave, sir. You are causing terrible harm to my customers. Can I ask you guys to please practice this?
No.
And the way you know you're doing it right, if you offend at least one person.
Oh, that's terrible.
You have to offend at least one person in the name of higher education.
Higher education.
Oh, my pitta is very high today. Let's say this word today. You want to try?
Today.
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 Yeah, that's pretty good. Today.
Today.
So these are the sounds that you're making. Ta and da. Today.
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 Let's say today, not good day.
Today, not good day.
No, you said this na. You said not this. I want you to say this na, which is not. Not.
No, not.
Curl
Not.
your tongue up so it touches the roof of your mouth. So you're pointing
Not.
right at your third eye. And keep it there
Not.
for the whole thing. Today is not a good day.
Today is not a good day.
There it is. Once again, today.
Today
is not a good day.
Now say it while doing this. Today is not a good day. Today is not a good day.
Good day.
Ah, good. I think we're getting it. You're getting it. R. So that R sound is also in the same spot. So while I'm speaking, my tongue hasn't moved from that curled position called the retroflex. They call it cerebral because it points to your brain, points to your cerebrum. So usually when we speak, our tongue is up here, dental. It's right behind the teeth. I want you to curl it so it points right at your brain. Today is not a good day. Ready, set, go.
Today is not a good day.
Yeah, very good, very good. Now say very good.
Very good.
Very good.
And
Very
when you
good.
say the duh, just emphasis, very good.
Very good.
Right.
Make that pop. Duh.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good.
That's it. Very good
I have a
job.
question.
Yes.
With the letter like Pierre Melenge or Fear Melenge, I always get it confused. The fear or the peer.
Both, both. Both are okay.
But they're both okay?
Both are okay because the sound here, let me go back to my, so Pir Melenge means I'll see you later. This
Right.
is Hindi, not Sanskrit.
Sorry.
It's this. No, it's
Right.
not melange. See, Word is trying to correct me. It's Pir Melenge. Now, when we pronounce this sound A, of course, we make it gay. But it's not gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but it's not melenge. It's melenge.
Elaine.
Pir melenge.
Human
So pir,
Pierre Melenge.
there is no f in Sanskrit.
There's
So
no.
p is the closest to f. How can it be a perfect language if there's no f sound? How are you supposed to curse in Sanskrit? They have their own way to curse. Okay? So k or f are interchangeable. Like k p or k f is okay. So you can say pir melenge
I got it.
or pir melenge. You know, and that's something I would ask a modern Hindi speaker because I don't speak Hindi. I can read it, but I don't speak it. Just like a lot of us can read Portuguese, maybe, because it's in the Roman script, but you can't know what it means. I don't know what it means. Same thing with Hindi. So you might want to ask a modern Hindi speaker whether they prefer to say fir melenge. I think they just say fir.
I've heard it both ways also, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. Oops, that's my other thing. All right. I've got all kinds of junk mail. I'm subscribing to a bunch of internet. Well, one of the things that I'm looking to do in the next year is to create a few programs, and there are a lot of so I'm subscribing to different internet marketing programs that to see how they do it because they're very effective. And I think this is something useful for us as practitioners as well, is to get insight into, how to market ourselves once we have a body of work. And anyway, so I got about 50 emails of those to go through. But any other questions about Sanskrit?
Not today.
Not today. Okay, well, we have a few more minutes because we started a little bit late. Let's take a look at the handout here again. and just make sure that you guys. Oh, and here's a little cute little illustration with the Sanskrit sounds for the chakras.
Chakras. Chakras.
And in your handout, you have some examples of silent letters. Like, hey, where's the A in bread, by the way? They say there's no I in team, but there's also no A in team, really. So
Oh my God.
you've got that in your handout. Oh, English is a beautiful conglomeration of a bunch of other languages, and so rules are different. The rules are harder to organize. Okay.
I heard English came from Sanskrit. Is that correct?
There are, well, English is a long descendant of, yes, of the Indo-European language, of which Sanskrit is either that, the Indo-European language, or at least one of its first offshoots. And that's a whole nother sort of debate, whether Sanskrit is the Indo-European language or it's one of the first offshoots of Proto-Indo-European. This is something that scholars argue about. It's not my purview, but yes, so English is a descendant of Proto-Indo-European language, of which Sanskrit is one. So let's practice these cerebrals just really quick before you go, because part of the retroflex sound is also, it's not just ta and ta, it is also in the nasal. So let's say this word.
Ganesha.
Now you see the letter N with a dot under it?
Mm-hmm.
That is your tongue. Every time you see a dot under a letter in transliteration, it will refer to this dot, your brain, your third eye. So it will remind you to curl your tongue up. So this is ga na.
Yeah.
Ganesha.
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 Let's do this hard word here.
Ganesha.
Shlakshna.
Good. So the first sh is dental. It's sh, and then for the second sh, you go back. So it's shlakshna. Shlakshna.
Shlakshna.
Good. Shlakshna.
What does that mean?
Slimy. Slippery. Boy, it sounds like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how about this one?
Rish.
Rishi.
Rishi.
So there's that r sound, which is again with your tongue curled up. That is rishi.
Rishi.
Prakriti.
Prakriti.
Or
Prakriti.
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 Vikriti.
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 Prakriti.
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 And we will end there.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next week for Vedic mythology.
Cool.
That should be a fun one. All right. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.